Hello, everyone. My name's Kim Miller. I am the Executive Director and the founder of FemArt Organization. We're a 501c3, and our mission is to promote and support women artists. And we are so happy today to be interviewing and letting all of you meet our wonderful artist, Judith Fox Goldstein. She is an amazing artist, and I would like to ask her a few questions and welcome you to our first virtual interview, Judith.
I'm honored and aloha and thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you. First, we would like to just start by explaining to everyone out there a little bit about the process of becoming an artist and when it is that you know you're an artist. And your journey is really unique, and I really would like for you to explain to everybody a little bit about how your journey began and when you realized you were an artist.
I'm still realizing that. I've lived most of my life on the big island of Hawaii, surrounded by immense beauty, and I never thought I would leave the island. I worked for the university and it was my home. But change happened and we found ourselves here. We came around 2015. And then about a year and a half ago, my husband, who has been healthy all of his life, became ill for a short time. I had recently stepped down from the university, holding tight onto that position, but I needed to be medication manager. So while he was recuperating, I said to him, can you please get me a long table and I'll wrap Christmaka present. That's Christmas and Hanukkah for those of you who are interested. And I started to draw cartoons and things like that. And all of a sudden, change happened. You know, I used to keep this quote when I first moved here about change, that change is hard at first and messy in the middle and then glorious at the end. And I had read Who Moved the Cheese and I knew I could adapt, but I was really failing. And then all of a sudden this happened. And I started to draw these cartoons on the Christmas presents. And then all of a sudden I would look at an image and it would appear differently to me. I would see shapes through geometry. I would see colors through a prism. I was relating to the world differently. And I said, I think I can draw that. I would take a walk and look at patterns on the ground and say, wow, that's really interesting. And so I started with little cards and I used what was familiar to me. And one of my first cards was this rendering of a geisha, no face, no features, but the kimono was familiar to me. And then I started to dabble into different areas and experiment with different kinds of fibers. For instance, I was still small, but I was experimenting with this. I wonder if you can tell what's on Aisha's face and hair.
Black beans.
You're right, black beans. And then I thought, oh, that made me filled with joy. Let me try something else. And then I tried this. Can you see what these are?
Buttons?
These are buttons. And all of a sudden, my world of mixed media began. I started to develop characters. And for me, all of these characters were women, powerful women of diversity. And that became my theme. When I first started, my husband said, why are you spending so much time? It's just a hobby. And that was the feedback I was initially getting. Now, he's very supportive, was very supportive through a successful professional career, but this was new to him also. But my characters started to develop. They started to come to life. For instance, this is Isabella, and she was saying to me, I can't go out without my diamonds. Now, actually, I'm a writer, and each one of my stories and characters carries a mo'olelo, which in Hawaiian means a story. And I was guided by poetry of Rumi and Angelo. And this one is about guilt. Guilt is heavy, let it go. And she would cover herself in bangles and appearances but yet she was hiding a great deal of guilt over a loss in her life. And I know this may sound strange, but these characters came to life for me. They had personalities. This is Margaret, and she looks kind of powerful and snooty. Haughty comes to mind. But actually, she had escaped a very misogynistic relationship, and she said, I'm out of here. And this is Margaret on her own. So, as strange as it may seem, I developed these relationships with the characters, and they talk to me. You asked a question about when I thought I was an artist. I brought something into the gallery just to be framed for my children. And the gallery owner said to me, he said, who did this? And quietly I raised my hand and said, I did. Questioning, the answer came out in a question form. And he said, do you have any more? And I said, yes. And he framed 5 pieces for me and put them in the gallery. And within a month, 2 of them sold.
Wow.
I then began to believe maybe I'm really becoming an artist.
Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting that you felt you were becoming an artist, but you were not establishing yourself as an artist. Do you think that being an artist is based on selling your work or possibly getting a message out there and being seen or heard? Like what will really define for all the women out there, all the artists out there, of when you can actually tell people, yes, I am an artist?
You know, when I started this, one of my best friends in Hawaii sent me a picture and with a quote by Van Gogh that said, you became an artist not when you sold your first piece, but when you picked up that paintbrush.
I love that.
And for me, it's been a matter of also feedback. People were reacting to my cards and then to my larger drawings. And I said, you know, maybe there's something there. Maybe I do have an inherent and innate talent. And let me see where this goes. And combining it with my writing was an entirely new journey. And I now can say I am an artist. Excuse me. Okay, I can now say I am an artist, but it's still something that's new. When the words trickle off my mouth, I can't believe I'm in such gratitude that that I found this journey at this point in my life. Who would have ever thought I would have had a third act? I mean, I know I'm not dead, but I have had a very, very full professional career. And although as an academic, you can kind of die in academia, and I didn't think I would step down, change came. And for me, really, you know, change doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. And if chance comes your way and you act on it, that's where the glory is. That's the glorious part of that statement I made at the beginning. Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and glorious at the end.